Okay, now let's take a look into agent. We're going to look at IT agent and look at some of the different configurations for IT agent, both the typical, easy install as well as the configuration files that we can do for a silent install. But before we get started, though, what I want to do is look at some of the requirements and things just to consider and just to kind of help you understand a little bit more about the agent. The agent that we have is really not designed or intended to be used just as the discovery source, because Lansweeper, the power of Lansweeper comes with its agentless discovery, which allows you to scan the entire network without installing any agents. And I understand there are times and there are use cases for an agent, and I think agents are important, but they're used for specific purposes. We do have some environments where the customers who can't install a network discovery and have it scan through their server environment. So, all right, install agents on those servers. But ideally, the best situation is the agent is there as a backup, you might call it. In front of me here, I've got a laptop. So Lansweeper installs an agent on my laptop. So as I'm traveling, if I'm a remote worker, so as I'm remote, they can still keep tabs on exactly where my laptop is, files and software that's installed on it, and continue to maintain it the way they want to maintain it. So having an agent on, those portable devices, those types of things, those are things that are important to be able to install onto. So when we start looking at this, the question really comes is to which agent is right for me? And this is something I'd like to discuss. Since we've talked a little bit about the classic install along with network discovery, we do have a page here in our KB articles that talks about which install is right for me. Let me scroll up. The name of this article here is Installing IT Agent Discovery. If I scroll down here, which install is right for me? There's 3 bullet points they point out here, and though I do agree with them, I also want to enhance and talk a little more deeply about this. So when we talk about this, one of the things they state here is, do you primarily use Lansweeper's platform in the cloud, the Lansweeper site, to view and manage your assets rather than the Lansweeper on-prem? This is an important question, but I want to embellish this a little bit more. If you even have Lansweeper on-prem, if you use the classic version with the Lansweeper on the network premises, really you should be using LS Agent for that. Just purely because there can be some confusion currently in early 2026 when I'm recording this, that there could be duplicates that are caused from combining the classic installation and its components along with network discovery and the Lansweeper platform and its components. So if you're using the classic components, I would stick with the LS agent and the LS push. If you're using network discovery and the platform, I would use the IT agent and the IT agent portable. So just kind of keep that in mind. The other thing that it asks is, does the computer you want to scan have internet access? This is an important one. If it does not have internet access at all, it's going to require some configuration. You can do this, use IT agent with without having internet access. It just means that you're literally having to use the portable, capture that information, create a file, put it over there, upload that file into and upload that file into your sensor. It takes a lot more work. And at that point, you also have to have regular access to that portable device in order to capture that information out. I get the point here. And again, if you have IT agent, I would not combine, let me restate that. If you have network discovery, I still would not combine, and if the machine does not have internet access, I would not combine LS agent with this. Does the Windows computer the Windows computer you want to scan run on Windows 7 or version 12 or later? So this is another just a system requirement. So even though these questions do apply, I wanted to embellish them a little bit just to be able to talk about that and make sure that we're all kind of on the same page before we get started into this. So some questions that we want to consider. Again, going back, did you install the Lansweeper Classic at all? If you're using Classic with that local SQL DB local SQL database, I'll put it that way, then you should be using LS Agent. Do not be going out and combining those two. If you do want to use, or you're planning on using LS Agent, just to throw this out at you, we have this great article, Introduction to LS Agent for Windows, Linux, and Mac, that will walk you through using that LS Agent for your installations. Do you have you installed the network discovery, which is the hub and sensor? You're going to want to use the IT agent for this. And ultimately, if the system is air gapped, these are the kind of the questions that I like to consider. The type of install, did you install network discovery? And is the targeted system, is it air gapped? If it's air gapped, you can use for either network discovery or classic, you can still use that IT agent if it's 100% air gapped. So I'm saying that if my laptop is never going to be scanned by an agentless scan of network discovery, then installing LS Agent is fine. If it is never going to be installed by classic, the classic installation, you can install IT agent. In other words, you can install the other platforms or the other installation types agent as long as it's completely air gapped. And again, the reason around that is, as of the recording of this in early 2026, that it could create duplicates in your environment. Okay, let's talk a little bit about installing the agent versus the script-based installation. So I do have the IT agent portable here. We have a great article that talks about this, setting up and run Lansweeper's IT agent discovery portable. This is a great article. I just wanted to reference this because it is in the course and the training here. But this is something we're going to talk about a little bit later, is how to use the configuration file and how do you configure this? How do you use it in the installation process? So we will look at that also a little bit later, but I just kind of wanted to give you a tidbit on that. IT agent is installed onto individual machines, where the IT agent portable can be ran via a login script, a GPO, or even on demand. You can trigger that through any other automation system you have. But ultimately, the agent is something that is installed. The portable version is the one that is done via a script, and that script again can use we'll be using the configuration file. Okay. By the way, Windows-based operating systems only for the portable version. I believe we may have some of the scripting and stuff for a couple letters, but it's in my notes to just be real cautious. I'll say it this way: be more cautious about the installation version when we start getting into that portable version. So let's look a little bit here at the operating system and some of the requirements in order to make the Lansweeper's IT agent work. So when we look at some of the requirements, we have some of these connection requirements. So let me scroll up again on this article. This here is the same article, Install IT Agent Discovery. I'm going to scroll down past which one's right for me, and we're going to look at the requirements, the connection requirements and the supported operating systems. So we want to be able to make sure you can access app.lansweeper.com because it connects to your Lansweeper site. Make sure that the connection also has access to the proper gateway for the US hosting or the EU hosting, depending on what site how your site has been created. If you're unsure exactly what that looks like, here in my Lansweeper site, you can see the little tiny icon right there that indicates that this is my European site. I do have a site in the US. Let me grab one of those so you can kind of see the difference here. And that installation will have a little icon for the for the US based hosting as well. You can see this information in a couple different locations, but that's the quickest way to grab that knowledge, that information from the very beginning. So when we're running this, we want to make sure that we have properly for the access to the download.lansweeper.com and as well as the scanner connect. So this all allows the communication from that IT agent to be able to properly communicate up. We have the different operating system versions. You can see the different Windows, Linux, the different packages for the Linux, as well as the Mac operating systems. I'm not too worried about the system requirements here for this because in the end, I would think most modern day laptops, computers, and so forth are going to be able to handle this agent with no problem at all, just because it's just this, it's a lightweight agent. But I think typical common thing that people do today is put in a system requirement for this. I think that the agent is lightweight enough that you'll be okay without having to worry about those specs. Let's talk real briefly too about some of the requirements. So we do need to have not just access to those URLs, but this also your server or your workstations needs to have TLS 1.2. TLS stands for Transport Layer Security. Making sure TLS 1.2 is enabled just because or greater because of security standards. We've increased the security of this new agent, and we should be able to do this. And then lastly is going to be the complete list of operating systems that we have. I already did address this, but in the end, you can see that in this KB article here where we talk about the different operating systems. I just want to reemphasize that. We get this a lot just because, and I emphasize this because we get a lot of questions about, well, it can run on this version, can it run on that version? Mac, I think the Mac version is one of those. So Mac 10.15 up to, I can never say this word, penultimate version, just making sure that it has all of the requirements in place for those Mac operating systems to work. Okay. I think that briefly that covers what I wanted to cover here with this as we're going to get into this. Next, I want to talk about just a basic agent deployment. We're going to look at just the basic agent deployment. And then after that, we're going to look at how do you configure the configuration file in order to capture that.